Hi everyone, my name is Connie Wood, and this is my second video. Pardon the storeroom here, I'm at my daughter's and it's quiet in here. This is an extra bedroom that she's turned into a storage room, and it's peaceful and quiet and you don't hear the TV. So I've got a little bit of a delay on the near-death sharing from the other people. I put mine out, and now I've got several others, but we're having some scheduling problems. So in the next few weeks, I'm gonna get with them and let you hear their stories about their near-death experiences. And I also have another one who has psychic dreams like me. She's a niece, and it kind of runs in my family, well, at least on my mother's side. So we've got that to look forward to as well. Tonight I'm going to talk about the psychic dreams I've had, the ones that have come true and the ones that haven't come to pass yet. That way you can get a little history on me, the gift that I have, and I feel that it is a gift. I don't know if it's because of our genes. We're more intuitive or connected, or it isn't an evil thing. I don't mess with evil. I don't mess with telling fortunes, and I don't mess with Ouija boards and things like that. And I have a story to tell you about that too. Let me tell you about that first. I had a nephew, and there might have been some other family members involved in this years and years ago. They were teenagers, and they decided, oh, we're gonna play with a Ouija board. And a whole bunch of them, I don't know how many, got together at this house, and they sat around a table, or it was an apartment, I'm sorry. They sat around a table, and they got the Ouija board, and they were trying to contact some spirit. Now, I don't know who, just somebody. The next thing they knew, one of the other teenagers that was there, and it really did happen, became possessed and started talking in this demonic voice, not his own voice, some otherworldly voice. All the doors locked, all the windows locked, and the phone started ringing, and the table started shaking. They answered the phone, and there was that voice on the other end of the phone, that demonic voice. I don't know what it said. I wasn't there. But I'll tell you right now, it scared them almost to death. And they started praying, and then it went away after they started praying. And the person who was possessed did not remember being possessed or anything about it. So my advice to people that mess with Ouija boards, don't try to mess with Ouija boards. Don't do seances. You don't know what you're going to get. And I'm a firm believer that there's evil out there, and there's evil energy. I know there is. So don't do that. Anyway, so let me get started with when I really realized that I had these psychic dreams. I mean, all my life I've dreamt of stuff, and then it happened. But it was just, to me, coincidence. I married my high school sweetheart. He was a couple of years older than me. And he joined the service, and he went to Germany. And of course, we got married. Before he left, we got married, and he went over there. And I went ahead and got my diploma early so I could go and be with him. And we were living over there for about a couple of years. This was in 1974, 1975. We were over there. And back then we didn't have cell phones. And we did not have internet or any of that stuff like we do now. I mean, there were people that had that kind of stuff, but not normal people like you and me. And telephone calls to Europe were very, very expensive. So my mother and some of my other family members, we wrote back and forth, and my mother wrote to me every week, and I wrote back, and I always enjoyed that because we didn't even have a television for the first few months we were there, and when we got it, there was only one APO channel, which was a military channel, which played reruns of Gilligan and the Beverly Hillbillies and things like that, and I really appreciated that because you know I did learn to speak some German. I've forgotten a lot of it, but I still remember quite a bit too. Um, I think I have a little German in me, not a lot, but a little. Anyway, and it's very pretty over there. It's very pretty in Germany, and they have yummy food and all of that. Um, so anyway, I didn't get a letter from my mother this one week, and I was kind of worried. And my husband said, "Oh, don't worry about that. She probably got busy." Well, I started dreaming, and for a whole week, I dreamt that my dad died. I would go and I would look at this coffin, and there would be my dad in this coffin, and it was horrible. I mean, I didn't dream what was wrong with him or anything. I just saw him in the coffin. So I told my then husband, I said, "Oh, something's wrong with my dad. I keep having this dream." He says, "Oh, no, no, you're just missing him." And, I was close to my dad and everything. So on the last night, which was, I think, a Friday night, I had a dream where I looked in the coffin and he wasn't in there. So I told my then husband about that. And a few days later, I got a letter from my mother, and she said, "I'm sorry it took so long to write. And I'm sorry I haven't told you this yet, but you're so far away and you don't have the money to come home. And I didn't want to worry you, but we almost lost your dad last week. He was in intensive care. He was very sick, and we didn't know if he was going to make it." But she said he took a turn for the better on Friday, and he's still in the hospital, but he's going to get out and he's going to be better. He's going to be all right. So when I showed my then husband the letter, he freaked out. He said, "Oh," I said, "I'm telling you, these things happen sometimes." I knew it. I just had this feeling in my heart that there was something wrong with my dad, and the dreams kept telling me. Now, many times I know things, even when I'm not asleep. I've had people that I knew they were pregnant before they told me. I knew what they were going to say before they told me. Not always, but it happens. I've dreamt, when I catch myself singing Amazing Grace, is when somebody in my family is either near death or going to die or doesn't have long. It's not something I'm doing, it's just like a warning. I used to catch myself singing Red River Valley for my ex-husband. So, and he hated that because somebody ended up dying, and it had nothing to do with me, them dying. They just, it was like a foreboding. In a lot of my dreams, I have this angel that comes to me in the dream, and he's got long dark hair, wavy hair, beautiful, beautiful blue eyes, and he glows all over around him. And he came to me in this one dream. This was about a year or so ago. And he said, "I want you to go with me." He comes to me in a lot of my dreams. And I said, "Okay, where are we going?" He said, "California." Well, we went walking. He grabbed my hand, and we both grew. I grew up to be as tall as he was. And in my dream, he was like, I don't know, 20, 30 feet tall. He's huge. He reached down, touched my hand, and I was the same height as him in this dream. And we kept walking, and we finally came over this hill and went down, and we were at the ocean. We walked out into the ocean a ways, up about knee deep or something. And I said, "Well, where are we? I thought we were going to California." He says, "Look down." I looked down, and we were standing on the tops of buildings that were underwater in California. It was like, I don't know what city it was, but California was underwater. wherever it was in California we were at. And I don't know. He didn't tell me that. It was just I woke up after that. That one hasn't come to pass yet, but I hope it doesn't. For your sakes and the people in California, I hope it doesn't. Another dream that I had that did come to pass was a couple of years ago. I dreamt that my husband was cheating on me. And I went to him and I said, I keep dreaming that you're cheating on me. Oh, no, no. He said, no. Well, come to find out, that's why we're divorced now. He got with some lady he worked with, and anyway, and now it's all history, and he's moved on, and I'm moved on. So that came true. I mean, he swore up and down, oh no, there's nothing. And then later he came to me and admitted there was somebody else and he had liked her for a long time and all of that. So there you go. I mean, another prophetic dream. Now, here's one that'll blow your mind. I lived in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in 2000, 2002, and then again I moved back there in 2005 through the end of 2006. And when I lived there the first time, I had this dream where this angel came to me and told me to beware. There was a very evil man, a very dangerous man with the initials M.A. Oh, okay. And he said something about foreign, Middle East, somewhere over there. I mean, I don't know, I don't remember now where, but, and so I said, okay. Well, I was working at a cell phone store in Irving, Texas on MacArthur Boulevard, which is closed now. I'm not going to say the name of the cell phone store, but I was a customer service rep there, and it wasn't very far from the airport because it was on the corner of George Bush Freeway, which was, well, I think 161 then or something like that, and MacArthur Boulevard. And that's in Irving, Texas, which was about 20 miles from where I lived. And it was a flagship store, and people came in on our side of the store to get their, pay their bills, to upgrade their software. And back then we didn't have all these fancy phones like we do now. This was just a simple flip phone, no big deal. Well, this guy came in, he had on a pilot's uniform, and he had another little guy with him, and it was Muhammad Atta. And I know it was Muhammad Atta because we had his name spelt wrong in the computer, and he was very adamant about getting that fixed. And his phone had been shut off for no payment, and he was wanting it back on, and I said, we can't turn it back on until you pay your bill. And I fixed his name on there, and I said, I noticed you're a pilot. He said, yeah. He was very curt. He wasn't friendly, but he wasn't mean. He was just kind of, as a matter of fact. And I said, where are you going? He said, Baltimore. I'm like, okay. And it was nothing for Middle Eastern people of all nationalities coming in there because it was the Dallas area and it was near the airport. So this was 2 weeks before 9/11. And the little guy that was with him, they were talking back and forth in their language, and I told him, I said, the best I can do for you is upgrade your software. You'll have to leave the phone here for a couple of hours and then come back and pick it up. There's no charge for that, but I said, I can't turn it back on. So he said, okay, and he left, and he came back with the little guy, and then he got his phone, and he left. Boy, the FBI, after 9/11 happened, they came in. I went to work one day after seeing Muhammad on TV, his picture, and I told my boss, I said, I know I waited on that guy. Because I remember his name because he was mad because we misspelled it. And he was a pilot, or he was in a pilot uniform, anyway. And so he got to looking, and next thing I know, the FBI came to my house two guys, suit wearing, gun toting, badge FBI to talk to me. My daughter was there. My neighbors saw it. I told him, I don't even remember what the little guy looked like. I didn't talk to him. I can't help you there. And I said, but, I told him what he said. And so they said, okay. And they thanked me. And then a week later, they came into the store and everybody saw him there. We had 20-something people that worked there. And they went through all the stuff. Well, guess what? The managers were reusing the security tape every couple of weeks. And they had filmed over it. So, but they did get the information and said they were able to get phone numbers and whatnot off of his account. So they took me down and interrogated me. They shoved me past the reporters, said don't talk to them because that little guy might come after you. Well, I don't remember now what the little guy looks like, so it wouldn't do him any good. I mean, it wouldn't do me any good to even try to tell him because all I just know is he was short. So, and but anyway, they said, well, we don't want you to be in danger. And I'm like, I don't want to be in danger either because he knows where I work. Anyway, so that was kind of weird, but kind of a little exciting too and scary. Anyway, that didn't have anything to do with the price of tea in China, but I did dream that I was going to meet this MA person that was a danger. And that came to pass too. Now, also before that happened, I used to get weird feelings when I would go into big buildings and I would go into the parking garages. I just all of a sudden became claustrophobic. This was just a few months before 9/11. And I just felt like I've got to get out of here. I mean, I don't know. It was, I don't feel that way now, but during that time, it was like I had this foreboding about I've got to get out from under this building. I don't want to be in here. I've got to get out. So I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but I felt like it was important to tell you. Now, another prophetic dream that has not come to pass. And this was, it's been quite a few years since I've had this, so it probably won't come to pass. But I had my television at the time in my bedroom, and I went to sleep with the TV on. It was on low. And I woke up, or so I thought, and I was listening to the TV in the background, and I heard them come on with the special bulletin saying, this is a special bulletin, and Germany is gone in the twinkling of an eye. Now, what happened to Germany, I don't know. But it was like, it's gone. And I jumped up out of the bed, and I looked at the TV, and there was a commercial on. And I thought, wait a minute, did I dream that? Because I could have swore I was awake. I guess I dreamt it. And I sat there in shock for about, 30 minutes trying to see if I could get some kind of news or whatever because it was freaking me out. And no, I dreamt it. Now, nothing's happened to Germany, so let's just hope that was a bad nightmare. The very last one I'm going to talk to you about. No, there's two more. One more is I dreamt, and this was just not too long ago. I was at the house I grew up in, which is owned by my niece. It was left to my brother who passed away, and he left it to his daughter, his oldest daughter. It's a big 2-story house and with lots around it. And I dreamt we were outside, and all of a sudden there was this big rumble all the way around us, like the whole ground was shaking, and we saw the dirt just kind of ripple toward us. And we were knocked to the ground, and when we got up, most of the houses were gone. They just vanished like they were swallowed up in whatever this dirt was that was coming forward. Now, we live not far from a fault line. We have had some small little tremors here in North Texas, but the last one I think was back in the 60s, 1960s. There is one of those seismographic deals up in the Medicine Park, which is just on the other side of the Red River. We're like 10, 15 miles from the Red River. And that, of course, is where the border of Oklahoma is, too, right there. So by Lawton, Oklahoma, they do have one of those earthquake machines up there in the Wichita Mountains. Well, they call them mountains, but they're really just big hills. If you want to see mountains, you have to go to a different area of Texas, like the Southwest, okay, or in that area. Now, in this dream, we got really scared, and we thought, what if it happens again and we get swallowed up? And then we were running from there, and I woke up. One more dream that I've had that has not come to pass, and I hope it does not. Now, these may just be confabulations of my brain in my sleep. Some of them have come to pass, though, so it's kind of scary. I'm not trying to fear you or make you fear. I just think it's interesting, and I wanted to share it. The next thing, this was just a few weeks ago that I dreamt this one. I dreamt that there was water in my area by North Texas everywhere. There was at least water up to your waist high in my town out in the streets. Now, remember, we're 15 miles from the Red River. The Red River's connected to Arkansas, Louisiana, all of that up in there, where they're predicting that big old earthquake's going to split open Louisiana and Arkansas and all of that. We also have 3 lakes surrounding us. We have Lake Wichita, Lake Arrowhead, and Lake Kickapoo. Oh, and a small Buffalo Lake over 10 miles or so from here. And then we also have the Little Wichita River that follows through here. So we're surrounded by all kinds of water, and especially the Red River, which is, like I said, 10, 15 miles from here. If something happens to the Midwest area or Mideast area where they're talking about a huge earthquake that's supposed to open up the Mississippi River and empty into the Gulf of Mexico and take half the states there with it, in the middle, it would definitely flood here. Most definitely. And so I don't know. I hope that these don't come to pass. But it never hurts. I feel like I should share this information just in case. Because, well, with 9/11, I had no idea what they were talking about. I didn't know what all that meant. So, I mean, and when I waited on that Muhammad Atta, I didn't know who he was. 9/11 hadn't happened. So, but now I feel like it can't hurt to share. It may mean nothing. And then again, it's kind of going along with some of the other predictions that people are having about futuristic events. I want to say this, though, to you. As far as prepping, I have food and supplies that would get me by for, I don't know, 2 or 3 months maybe. But I'm not gonna be a crazy prepper. I'm not gonna do it. Look, if I'm meant to survive, I will. Will I take a chip in my hand or forehead? No. For more reasons than one. One is, yes, it could be the mark of the beast, but I don't want somebody putting any kind of chip in me that they can control from somewhere else. That has to do with, I don't want that. I mean, okay, if I can't buy and I can't sell and I can't live and I die, okay, I've had a near-death experience. I know the soul goes on, so I'm not that scary. I don't want to suffer, and I don't want my family to suffer, and I don't want my friends to suffer. And who knows? It may be another 50 years for all that stuff happens, or it may not happen at all, and it may be next year. You can't really live in fear, though. You can't. You just have to, always for life, you should have some kind of idea about the future. Look, we live in Tornado Alley here. They just had we're 120 miles from Dallas, and they just had a bad tornado a couple of days ago. And we've had them wipe out about a third of our town before. So, you know what? It never hurts to have 2 or 3 months of food and water and medicine and things like that, because you just don't know. And when something like that happens, supplies dwindle in the stores real quick. And people are out of work and, all of that kind of stuff. So I get up every day and I live like, well, this is a blessing. I mean, I've been at death and back. So everyone I meet, I feel like is an opportunity to do something good. Even if it's just say hi, how are you doing, and hug your neck, or have a blessed day, or whatever. And to listen. I do a lot of listening too, and a lot of talking too. I'm a woman. Women like to talk. And I'm a Texas woman, so you know how that goes. And yes, I have a very Texas drawl, a very southern accent, and that's okay because everybody around here does too. When I came back from Germany, I had lost some of it because I wasn't around a bunch of Texans, and when I came back, I really realized how southern we all are. I'm like, oh my God, look at. Is this what I sound like when I left? Yep. Yes, it is. Even the people on television, the local news, the cab driver who picked me up at at the airport and la la la. And I'm like, oh my gosh, wow. And you know what though? Texans have big hearts. There's a lot of us here. Texas is a big state, and we don't think we're better than anybody else, but we're proud. We're a proud state. We are. And we have our share of hoodlums and whatnots. But, that's life. Okay, well, that's my deal for the day. Now, I'm hoping that next week I've got a gentleman I'm going to try to get with who I used to sing at his church and on Wednesdays. He's a pastor at a church, and he has a near-death experience he wants to share with y'all. So I'm hoping to get with him. And of course, the pastor of my church, and believe it or not, I belong to a Korean Baptist church of all places. But I love it. It's my home away from home, and these folks are just my family. They really are. I was raised a Baptist, and I've gone to several other churches. Now, I'm not a Bible thumper, okay? I believe in God, and I believe in Jesus and all that, and if you don't, well, that's all you. I'm not going to judge you for it because you're on your own path. I know God's real because I've had that experience. If you want to know what I experienced, it's on the other video. Um, but the main thing is to know that there is a reason we're all here. We're not here because of some um, fluke in a cosmic soup that just created. Look at all of the different life forms on Earth alone: insects, plants, animals, trees, um, birds, humans. I mean, fish, all of the life in the sea, thousands of different life forms. You think all that happened just as accident? No, no way. Now, it does matter. I think it matters how you treat other people. My theory, and this is just my theory, if somebody is being a butt, hate the action, not the person. Really. I had to come to grips and with my enemies and forgive them, and then ask for forgiveness for things I've done, because let me tell you, I've stepped on a few toes in my lifetime. I have not always made the right decision. My love life, oh, forget it. First of all, I'm not Barbie, and I'm old. But I just don't know how to pick the right person for me. I don't. So for right now, I'm not going to worry about it. You know? I know I say you know a lot. I got to quit that. Okay. If y'all have any questions, any of y'all that have stories to tell you'd like to tell, I don't have a computer right now. I just have my iPhone. I'm going to get a computer next month. Maybe I can hook up with you and we can get your story out here, because the more stories, are real personal journeys as far as the near-death experiences that we can get out there, the more people we can reach, even if you just reach one person, to let them know that, you know, there is purpose to this life. There really is. And I don't know you, and I might know you. You might, some of my friends will be on here. But I send you love and wishes. And I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you didn't, don't say anything ugly. Just don't come back, because it's not worth it. Don't put negative energy out there. I don't base my self-opinion on other people's opinion of me. I just do the best I can do and be myself and try to treat people kindly. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Next week, a guest. And thanks for all you do. God bless. Bye.